what's up? You already know my name. It's MJ. What the heck?
What's up, everybody? My name is Dom, short for Dominic, and I'll just plug myself right now. If you want to check me out, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's dominic.phelps with a PH, and same thing on YouTube, but without the dot, just Dominic Phelps.
Hell yeah. I met this dude. Actually, he's one of my clients. He asked me to take pictures, and we became some really good friends. We just our energies just clicked, you know? We realized we're good people, and it's good to have those positive people around, you know?
And I do also have to say a quick shout out to Rayshawn because he introduced me to you, and that's the fucking homie, so shout out to you, bro.
Hey, there you go. Alright, so this is the Smile Project, take 2. Starting with the first one, I said, you know what, you need to start your morning looking at yourself in the mirror and smiling, right? So I kind of wanted to bring Dom in and just ask him, what makes you smile? Like, how do you start your day?
So, I've been thinking about this, and what's been making me smile is basically in the morning, I start my day off with first hydration, and then I write down what I'm grateful for. So, like, I'll write down, you know, I'm grateful to have a roof over my head, to have so much food, to have, like, clean running water, and to really realize that, like, a lot of people don't have that.
True.
And to also realize that I was born and I live in a country that allows me to speak my mind and to do like what I want to do. So, you know, despite everything that's going on politically and stuff, I think we also have to realize that we do live in a pretty great place, you know, compared to a lot of places in the world. Like, you know, we're doing good.
Hey, we have shoes on our feet, you know, we can take a shower every day. Some of us don't, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But we still have the option, right?
Exactly. And so I don't only write down like what I have now, but I also put myself in like the shoes of my future self, and I write down what I'm grateful for then. And I feel like that allows me to act and feel as though my future has already happened. And when that's the case, it's pretty much impossible to feel anything else, right? So like you can't really be anxious or depressed because you already have everything you ever wanted and you're feeling that. So you can't really feel any other way.
Damn, that's huge. You're like achieving those dreams already in your head. So they're more attainable at that point.
Exactly. You make them more attainable because once you think about them like that, you start to act like it. You know, and you just have to keep building that pattern. And a big thing is like if you're either writing down what you're grateful for, you're meditating on it, depending how long you had an old pattern for, those thoughts might come back. So you might get anxious thoughts of like starting to worry about like, oh, like this and that, oh, I gotta go to work, this and that. But then you have to just calmly, don't judge yourself, bring yourself back to what you're grateful for, because by doing that, you're making new neural connections and you're showing your brain that the old ones, they're not important anymore. And the new ones is what you need to focus on.
That's true. I feel like we get stuck just going with emotion, you know, almost like that SpongeBob episode where Squidward just gets up every day and does the same exact thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
That's a mundane motherfucker.
Yeah, it's true, it's true. But we get stuck doing that, you know, it's like, all right, alarm goes off at 8, I go to work, I get home, I eat, I shower, I sleep. And it's like you get stuck in like that normal life, almost like a simulation it feels like sometimes. Like, you're just living this day to day and like, you get stuck in that, and it's like makes you get stuck in a negative energy, I feel.
That's why it's important to check yourself, because not only in the morning do I do this, but I try to do it before I go to bed. And any time during the day when I'm feeling off, you have to have the discipline. You need to cultivate the discipline to be like, okay, I'm feeling off. Let me change what I'm focusing on so that I can feel better, because a lot of the times when we're feeling anxious or depressed, it's what you focus on. It's a situation. You keep replaying maybe this like memory in your past where like something bad happened. You're like, oh fuck, like, ugh, you know what I mean? And so if you interrupt that and you tell your brain like, no, that's not important. That did happen. I'm not judging myself for it. It's a part of my past. But now it's time to focus on something better because I want to create a better future.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really what you need to do if you want to make like a big change.
And it keeps you smiling. It really does.
Yeah.
It makes you grateful for your own smile because, you know, you stopped yourself frowning and changed it. And no one else did
exactly.
that, you know?
And, you know, doing that, every time you do that, you should be proud of yourself. Because you've just disrupted your old pattern and you're creating a new life for yourself every single time you do that. Every time you do that, it's not insignificant. Every time you do that, it's building your connection with your future and your better self even stronger and stronger.
That's true. And we all have a moment of weakness. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have breakdowns. You know, I cried doing the dishes the other day. I'm not going to lie. It happens.
Yeah.
But you know what? After that, I made myself a really good meal, and I was good.
Yeah,
you know?
and ultimately, like, you really do have to be, like, your own best friend because kind of like we were talking about, if you are, let's say, in a relationship and you're looking at the other person to provide you your happiness and your love, like it's not going to be a good relationship.
No.
If you want a really strong relationship, you have to provide that for yourself, because then both people will be in a good state and you'll just be building off each other instead of one person or both people looking at each other for like their happiness, because ultimately what that creates is like a toxic connection.
Exactly.
You know, and then I feel like that's the demise of a lot of relationships, because a lot of people aren't there for themselves and they just think that it's okay to look to other people for what they should be providing themselves with.
It's true. You gotta have a relationship with yourself first.
You
That's
do.
important. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you gotta love yourself, take care of yourself, make sure you brush your teeth every morning. You know what? You don't have a mom anymore. If I tell you that, you know, your mom's not making sure, oh, wear clean socks, honey. You gotta do that yourself. You know.
And if she did,
It's
you'd probably be pissed at her. Like,
probably. I
well,
mean, that's probably
independent.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Cool.
But yeah, I feel like, so not only should you write down what you're grateful for and put yourself in your future shoes and write down what you'd be grateful for then if that were the case and feel that as being the reality, but you should also write down what you're proud of yourself for doing. And it might be hard to do that at first, but even if it seems insignificant, just keep thinking about things that you're proud of yourself for, because by doing that, you're going to automatically give yourself more confidence, because you'll be like, you know what, I did do that. Like, I did push myself in that situation, and, you know, I did it for the better of things, even though it was hard. And if it's hard for you to find those things, then start doing those things, you know? And not only that, but also you got to forgive yourself for a lot, because like I said earlier, if you're writing things or thinking about things you're grateful for and you get this interrupted pattern, it's probably for something that you just can't let go of, you can't forgive yourself for. And so it's important to just realize that, like, you might have fucked up, but like, if you keep thinking about it like that, it's going to define you. So realize that it happened, but like, forgive yourself for it. Don't give it that power to control your emotions anymore.
It's true. You have more control than you really think you do. You know,
Yeah.
Your mind is a powerful thing, but you have more power. You have all the control of your mind. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like, it can be even the simple things. If you start to write things about yourself that you're grateful for, it can be the smallest thing. I'm grateful I have teeth. I'm grateful I have money. I'm grateful I have people that care about me. I'm grateful that I have feet to walk on. You know.
And the most important thing though is to feel it, because if you're just writing like, I'm grateful for blah blah blah, and you're not really feeling it, then it doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah,
so make sure that like what you're writing down, you like really feel. And it might be hard to do that at first, but remember, this is a building process. I'm doing this every day because I want to make this the new habit that my mind goes to, because it realizes that the old pattern that it was living by is no longer important. It no longer serves me for the life that I want. So this is the new path, and this is what we're doing now. And that's a process, because for years and years, I was not operating under that mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm now realizing how important it is to change that. So I'm doing everything that I can to do that. And that's kind of where discipline falls in, because you have to, on the times when you feel bad, don't just like get on your phone or like eat or do whatever you do for instant gratification and pleasure. Like, you gotta like take a second to go in your mind and make sure that you're in a good state, you know?
It's like when we go on our phone, we block ourselves these negative things, you know? Like, social media is a huge thing. It can be very bad, you know?
Yeah.
That's where sometimes I don't like the internet, because we can just, like, we see these other people so happy that it brings ourselves down. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's like, it can be a beautiful thing or a really ugly thing. Like, a lot of things in life, it can either kill you or build you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's definitely a big one that especially like a lot of us younger people are dealing with nowadays. And it's very important to not to actually realize like why you're on social media. You know what I mean? If you're just like scrolling through, be like, okay, like I realize I'm just like wasting my time right now, so let me just put this down really quick and just take a second for myself and take a second to just get myself in a better place so that I'm not really craving those things anymore.
Exactly. Because you know what? You're important. Like, yourself is important. Because, like, I don't know, those people on social media, that's not your life, you know?
Well, that's focusing on, like, it's cool to see what other people are doing, but if you're looking at how some people say, like, you're looking at their grass, you know what I mean? You have to focus on your grass. You're checking to see if their grass is greener and comparing yourself.
You know, really, their grass is fake, so...
Yeah, and it's like, you know what I mean? You gotta focus on yours, like, and by only focusing on yours, like, that's what's gonna get you to the next level.
Exactly. You just gotta keep watering your own grass. Don't worry about theirs. Don't worry if they mowed their grass already and you didn't. That's okay.
Yeah, like, you know, oh, they went on a trip. That's cool, but, like, you know, let me make sure I'm good.
Exactly.
Because that's more important than anything.
Exactly. You gotta be thankful for who you are, you know, and like even just being thankful for being happy. That's a huge thing I think though. Just being thankful that wow, I did wake up with a smile today. I did wake up with a positive attitude. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, and there's so many routes you can take it, because if you think about it like this, in our galaxy, the Milky Way, all the planets that we know of, at least in our galaxy, like we're the only like life, and we're in a perfect distance from the sun to our planet where we can live and thrive. If we were closer, it might fuck up our atmosphere and like, you know, give us skin cancer and stuff, but we've adapted and we've lived in this amazing environment where we're like really like a floating like rock in space. And so like, you know, it's good to take that into consideration too, how crazy shit is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're like on this planet, we're the being with like the highest consciousness, and we can change things and we can change ourselves, which is like the human characteristic that separates us from other animals.
That's true.
You know, and like just because that's all we know, we take it for granted a lot of the times.
Yeah, it's true though. There's a lot of things I feel like we take for granted, you know? I feel like we take ourselves for granted all the time. It's like everyone has a purpose. Like there's a reason why you're here, you know? That smile you gave to that one person that morning just made their entire day. And maybe that's the reason why you're here, to spread joy to other people. Or like, we don't know why exactly, but there's a reason.
Well, and to make the world a better place, you have to start with yourself, because when you start with yourself and you make yourself happy and you're there for yourself, you influence those around you and you show them what's possible. You show them there's a different way of life. There's a different possibility. And by doing that, then you improve their lives. And by doing that, it's just like a little spiral effect that causes a change in the world, you know what I mean? And instead of trying to do it in this grandiose way, you really just got to start with yourself, and that's going to be like one of the truest ways to do it, or like the truest way to do it.
Exactly. I mean, if you want the world to be at peace, you have to be at peace with yourself. Right? You can't expect that person to be happy if you're not.
Well, and it's all about how you perceive events, because you could perceive a challenge as being like, oh, this sucks, like, you know, I have such bad luck, this and that, or you could see it as like, you know, this really showed me my shortcomings, so now I need to focus on that and like figure out how to build off of that. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's definitely not, and I definitely fall in bad habits quite frequently, but I'm not going to just stop and not stop growing, you know what I mean? Because that's, I think, like probably the worst thing that I could ever do.
Yeah, that's like a slow suicide, is if you stop caring for yourself, you know?
Yeah.
It's true. It's like you stop watering your plant and it dies. You gotta keep watering yourself, keep letting yourself grow, or else you're just gonna die.
Exactly, because just like plants, we need essential nutrients to make us grow, and you know, one of them is love, one of them is like, you know, being grateful, being happy. And, you know, we can't neglect those things. It's not like we're just like machines, you know, we're like living beings that need things to keep going. And I feel like every day there's things that you need to do for yourself to help yourself grow. That's what I was saying in the morning, at the end of the day, during the day. It's so important to check in with yourself and make sure that you're in a good headspace. And if you're not, just chilling out for a sec and getting in a good headspace. And you can do that by being grateful, writing down why you're proud of yourself, forgiving yourself, you know, and making promises to yourself, like realize like, why are you doing this? Because if your why is strong enough, like there's really nothing that could be in your way.
That's true. That's really true. I think that's a great topic for take 2 of this Smile Project, is just take that time to yourself. Be committed to yourself before anyone else.
Be committed to yourself.
Love yourself, cherish yourself, and take care of yourself. And just smile, because it's important.
Exactly, that's so important. And I just wanted to say I'm glad that you are doing this video series, because I feel like it's going to help a lot of people. I hope that this episode can reach a lot of people, and I hope that people look at this seriously and they actually apply some of the things that we're talking about. And I also do want to say, if anyone is committed to themselves and they're going to start trying these things, go ahead and leave it in the comments and let us know, because I'd love to know that what we're actually saying is like getting to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyways, I appreciate you having me on.
Hell yeah, bro.
And again, if you guys want to follow my journey, make sure check me out on Instagram. It's Dominic.Phelps with a PH. Dominic Phelps on YouTube, and Dominic on Spotify. And let's keep going.
Dominic in real life too.
Yes.
There he is. Alright. Laters, guys.
Peace.
Dominic in real life too.